Okay, welcome to this chapter of mechanical properties of solid. Now, when you talk about solid, we know that the molecules or atoms of a solid are closely packed. So, in order for a substance to be solid, there should be a strong intermolecular forces of attraction between the molecules or the atoms of the particle. So, this is what we know about solid. Now, because of this intermolecular forces of attraction, they hold each other. Say, suppose I apply a force to this particular solid F. Now, due to this applied force, there is a slight change. There is a slight change in the object. Slight change in the object. This is a change. Slight. And this slight change can be termed as deformation. Deformation. So this deformation is produced because of the applied force. Now there is a inherent properties of solid, there is a property of solid which works as if a deformity force F is being applied, then this solid in turn applies a restoring force. This solid F applies a restoring force. So this restoring force, that is the amount of restoring force it can apply and the amount of restoration, that is restoration it can bring. It can bring if a amount of restoration it can bring. So by this statement I mean that if a deformity force F has been applied from internally, a restoring force is also applied opposite to the direction of the force applied, and it tries to restore back to its original shape. Back to its original shape. So the amount of restoration it can do also tells us about the substance elasticity. How much elastic is the body? How much elastic is the body? And this property comes from this particular definition. How much restoration can it bring? This is known as elasticity. So when you define the term elasticity, you can define it in such a way that it is the restoring force in which it tells us how much a body can be restored after a deformative force has been applied. So this is also one of the definitions. This is a definition which is a bit different from your book, but you can also understand elasticity with respect to this particular definition. So this is how we can understand elasticity. Now let's move on to what is opposite of elasticity. Something which is opposite of elasticity is your plasticity or plastic. It's plasticity. So let's understand these two terms a bit more elaborately. elasticity and plasticity. So these are two terms. Now elasticity is the virtue or the property at which the deformed body can come back to its original shape. That is, how much elastic is it? This is known as elasticity. Now, if you want to understand plasticity, you can understand that is opposite to elasticity. Say, suppose there is a bit of a wet mud that is collected. Now, if you press this, the body easily gets deformed and it does not come back to its original position. So, this is due to its plasticity. That is, a deformed body, the amount of deformation that has been caused in this particular body, and it does not return back to its original position, then we can say that this object is plastic in nature or it has high plasticity. So plasticity can be referred to as a object which when deformed, that is the degree at which it does not come back to its original position, that is known as its plasticity. So this is how we define elasticity and plasticity.